Hi, I'm Sam. I'm here on behalf of J. James Cycles, and today we'll be looking at this bike. It is the Specialized Levo 2019. The big talking point of this bike is the brand new motor that they've got with it, and that's a Bros 2.1 motor. It offers 90 Newton meters of torque, which means when you're in a higher cadence and you're pushing, it gives you 30% more power. So you put less effort in and you get faster, basically. Now, my first experience with electric bikes, I wasn't that impressed because when the motor kicked in and took over from my own pedalling, it was a kind of like a shunting feeling. You could kind of feel the kick of the motor. The very first experience of this not happening was on the old Levo. It seemed smooth. The shifting was absolutely smooth. There was no kind of cross between me pedaling and the bike taking over. Specialized this year, in the 2019, I've taken it a step further. The motor has got a brushless system, so you won't feel any of that at all. It'll be smooth. You don't know when the bike takes over and where your legs end, basically. It's just a smooth transition all the way through. Now, sticking with the motor itself is 15% smaller and 500 grams lighter, and that allows them to position the motor more centrally, so the weight distribution feels a lot nicer, basically. You're not going to feel too front heavy, you're not going to feel too rear heavy. The weight itself actually adds to the experience. If you're going downhill, it actually carries your weight a lot faster. Moving on to the battery is located in the down tube here, and you can access it near the bottom bracket area here. There's a clip, you have to turn the bike upside down, there's a clip, you pull it, and you can take the battery out there. The battery comes standard as a 500 watt hour battery, but you can also purchase a 700 watt hour battery if you feel like you're going to go further, if you want more power. Obviously the 700 watt is more expensive, but they're both the same size, so it's interchangeable. The brain of the bike is located on the top tube. It's the Turbo Connect unit. That houses your battery power. It shows you all the you need to know. So it shows you the settings, what settings you're currently riding in, how much battery is left. It also connects via Bluetooth to your app on your phone. With that mission control app from Specialized, you can actually set everything exactly the way you want it. So say you want to conserve your battery on longer rides, you can do that. You can put maximum power into particular climbs. So if it feels like the cadence and kind of force you're putting into the pedals is higher, you can actually tell it to put more power from the motor into the bike itself, so you can climb a lot faster. It's really a great app if you want to customize every aspect of your bike. Now, the frame itself, you may have noticed that this is the Levo, so it's an electric bike. It actually looks a lot like the Stump Jumper, the brand new 2019 Stump Jumper. That's because of the asymmetrical suspension system on here. It's kind of like a chubbier Stump Jumper, I suppose. The reason it's gone asymmetrical is to add stiffness to the rear end. And because they've been able to make the battery smaller and the whole motor smaller, they've been able to carry this over. Originally it started with the Enduro, and then Stump Jumper took it, and then obviously the Levo's got it now. So it shows it's a system that works, and they're trying to incorporate it into as many of their other models as possible. But with suspension-wise, rear suspension and front suspension, you're getting rock shocks on there. You've got the debonair chargers on both, so that's going to give you a good supple feel over small hits. When you hit the big ruts or you drop off anything, it's going to be less harsh if you bottom out. You shouldn't be able to bottom it out, but if it does come close, then it's going to be a lot smoother overall. So SRAM takes care of the rest of the spec on the frame, just like the front forks. These are sector forks, just like the forks and the rear shock. Everything else is SRAM. Rock shocks is an offset of SRAM, so it's the same company. We've got the NX 11-speed gearing from SRAM, so 11-speed, single on the front. Obviously got that motor, so that doesn't matter. The gears are level Ts. Level Ts from SRAM are mainly found on electric bikes. They're kind of designed for electric bikes. They're designed for heavier bikes. So say if you're downhill rider, you're a bit heavier, they tend to like level T brakes because they're designed around having a heavier frame. So that's why you find them mainly on electric bikes. Other than that, we've got no dropper post, but you won't really need one because it's an electric bike. There's no need to really drop your post for climbs because the motor takes care of that. And we've got Specialized own Butcher tyres, which are a great all-round tyre. They can cope with mud really well. They're quite wide, good tread pattern, so it's not going to pick up too much mud. It's got good mud shedding capabilities on them. A solid all-round tyre. Finishing off, you've got the shorter stem, so that brings the reach in a little bit. And you've got your control unit on the handlebar itself, so you can flick through the functions without having to look down onto the top tube. It's there at your fingertips. You've also got the walk button on it, so if you're pushing your bike, you press the walk button, it lets the motor disengage and you can just push the bike along like normal. So I've been Sam on behalf of J. James Cycles. This has been the Levo 2019. If you like the look of this or you want any more information on this bike, just click the link below.